Ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing in the junior welterweight division. Max proudly sponsoring Adam Kileen, working out of the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing interstate. Would you welcome in the red corner on my left, 27 years of age, born in Wollongong, now living in West Dapto, New South Wales. Last night at Tsugami scaled 62.90 kilograms. He brings in a centering a record, an improving record of 16 bouts, 6 wins, 1 draw. With his mentor, former Australian middleweight champion, Vito Gordiosi. Good evening to you, Vito. Ladies and gentlemen, wearing black trunks with his name emblazoned on the front, would you welcome the Spider, Danny Vasquez. And across the ring, now an integral part of Murray Thomson and Greg Grogan's Fighters Factory at Blackburn. Ladies and gentlemen, scaling 62.35 kilograms, made his debut here, July 7. Ladies and gentlemen from Wandon, Upper Yarra Valley's own Hotshot. Would you welcome a man variously known as Mr. Clean and the Killer? Would you welcome, wearing white trunks with black piping, Adam Kileen? Your judges, David Wingle, John Wheeler, and Malcolm Mulder. Your referee, World Championship referee, James J. Boland. Jim, your referee's instructions, please.
Boys. Okay, boys, welcome to the ring. I've spoken to both in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my instructions all the time. In case of a knockdown, neutral on this one here and the one behind me. Any questions on your key seconds? Okay, let's get it on.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting bout because we haven't seen Danny Vasquez in Melbourne at all, Barry, in the fighting of recent times. Danny Vasquez has been fighting in Sydney on the Morty fights up there.
Yep.
And, of course, Adam Kileen.
Round 1.
Adam Kileen had a huge win here over Robbie Spagan. Really cleaned out Robbie's cage there a bit last time we were here in Knoxfield on the 7th of July. Had a big win. He was tough, resilient. And looks as mean as can be here tonight, Mr. Clean, in my view. Barry?
Adam Kileen certainly comes to fight. He's like in the Frank Ropers mould, walks up, ripping and hooking. You know, he's a short, nuggety fighter, all business, all action. Danny Vasquez, a southpaw, from the which for the uneducated viewers means that he should really be a left-hander. Leads with his right foot forward and his right jab first.
Yeah.
6 wins and 1 loss, so got a very good record.
Yep, yes. Yeah, he's well balanced there, that southpaw style, right foot forward, and not well at the moment. They're just a feeling out situation here at the moment. But gee, Adam Kileen, the way he's been fought his first fight, he looks like he'd take on the world. He's a very tough-looking boy and a very vigorous-looking fellow, and I believe he's one of the best trainers down there at the Fighters Factory in Blackburn. He, as Howard Lee said, he's become an integral part of that gymnasium.
Yeah, no, he was impressive, certainly against Robbie Spagan, but he's up against a different opponent here, totally.
Oh, yeah, very busy man, Danny Vasquez. By the look of him here, and got Kileen in the corner. Kileen's trying to fight his way out, lifted the knee a fraction.
Danny
trying to
Vasquez,
balance himself. Sorry, Barry.
He's a crafty southpaw. You can see he's got some good moves. He looks, well, he looks, you know, Adam Kileen looks rock solid. Danny Vasquez looks maybe a little bit soft around the midsection. Not to say that he's not in top condition, because some guys, that's just their the way they are.
Body metabolism, Barry, don't they call it that?
For sure.
Yeah. And they carry a little bit of surplus there, and might be used up in the energy stakes throughout the fight. Might be good for them. Some boys sometimes can look over-muscled, as we saw Krim Nasher when he fought Tony Weeby last year. He just he didn't have 1 ounce of superfluous weight on him at all, and ended up weakening in that bout. So here's Danny Vasquez now throwing big lefts and rights there, but he was reaching, Barry.
Yeah, at the moment he's given Adam Kileen quite a bit of trouble. He's trying to he's probably not used to this sort of style. He's one of those very awkward southpaws. Southpaws generally.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, big left hand.
That left hand under the chin of Kileen. A slight grimace from Kileen, but didn't stop him one iota. No, it was a hard punch, though.
He's a tough boy, Adam Kileen, but that was a good left hand from Danny Vasquez.
It seemed to stick there for a minute, didn't it? Nearly got caught under his chin, actually, for a minute there.
At the moment, Vasquez, you know, showing some real ring skills. You know, slipping, moving, bobbing, weaving, coming from you know, with punches from all angles.
Yeah, good lateral mover, Barry, isn't
Yep.
he? He's and the reflexes are on the ball. This is what's going to make this a
Oh,
great
that
fight.
was-
Oh, chip one in there underneath the chin or on the chin of Kileen.
That was a lovely shot.
The Spider Vasquez. Perhaps it's the reach, the long arms.
Well, you know, the southpaw style, I mean, you know, it's very awkward fight to box the southpaw, being an orthodox fighter. If you're not used to them, you really, you know, it really throws you out, and you tend to get hit a lot more.
Yep. Awkward type of fighter, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the red corner and see what the instructions are there with the team from Sydney.
I'd say that the first round would go to Danny Vasquez on, you know, just about everybody's scorecard there. I think just a bit too slick for Adam Kileen in the first round.
Yep, yes, had him worried.
Jeff Brennan, going to present the gold medal after this bout on behalf of Fighters Factory. The real moment of truth.
You've got Jeb going in space all day, even if it's not landing, keep it going. Right now, listen, once you get over there, you've got to bring it over. As soon as you hold it, bring it over. Don't let him fly you up. There you go.
He just joined us for in bout number 2. Danny Spider Vasquez from New South Wales in the red corner. Adam Killer, Mr. Kileen coming out of the blue corner.
Get busy on the jab. Don't stand in front of him. Stand.
Seconds out, round 2.
Now, the earlier part of those instructions, Barry, I think they were telling Vasquez to jab more with his left hand, I think.
I know with his right it would have been.
With his right it would have been,
he was saying not to stand there. He's telling him the right thing to do against an opponent like Adam Kileen. Vito Gordioso, you know, ex-Australian middleweight champion, giving some very good instructions there to a very slick-looking Danny Vasquez, who looked very cool and controlled in the first round to me.
No doubt about that. And Kileen has his work, I say
Well,
cut out yet, but Vasquez has got the first round, so we think, and a wild left hand there from Vasquez over the top of Kileen. Now they're grappling.
Look, it really is a tough job for Adam Kileen. I think he's, you know, this is a tough opponent for him. Slick southpaw. You know, to me, I only ever lost to 3 Aussies, and they're all slick southpaws. I reversed 2 of them, but you know, they're hard to fight. Look at this. You know, that was
More unorthodox stance and style, and not to mention just the unorthodox stance and style. It's also the lateral movement of this boy here, Vasquez, causing Kileen problems because Kileen can't measure him up to land punches, Barry.
Actually, I only reversed one of them. I just remembered one of them was a bad decision. The only southpaw who I deserved to lose to was Jeff Malcolm, who's still fighting today.
Oh, yes, 43-year-old Jeff Malcolm, and what a man he's been, fantastic.
Yeah, great, very slick boxer. We never had a rematch, unfortunately, but still fighting at 44 and boxing very well.
Oh, he is. It must be hard fighting at 44, I'd say. It's a gutsy performance, no doubt about that.
Well, he's always looked after himself. You know, he's never been a drinker and smoker, and so.
He's very much into the a healthy lifestyle, Jeff Malcolm. Probably doing most of his fighting, I think, out of Queensland. I think it's Vasquez again over the top with that right hand. Tried to land one on Kileen, but Jim Boland now having a word to Vasquez. Rubbed the top of his forehead, probably saying, watch the heads, Barry, was he coming in?
Possibly. At the moment, Adam Kileen having all sorts of fits trying to land cleanly on Danny Vasquez, on the Spider.
Very quick,
he's nullifying Kileen very well.
Yep, no doubt. I think the Vasquez camp have done their homework. They've probably got a copy of that last video, Kileen's first pro fight against Spagan, and certainly got themselves sorted out here for this bout. Vasquez just shook his head there. He's okay, no difficulty. Kileen now attempting to exert some authority, isn't he, Kileen? He's trying hard there, he's swinging.
Yeah, nothing really landing.
Nothing landed at all. And then Vasquez swings high, wide and handsome with the
that was a lovely right hand.
It was a beautiful punch.
Yeah.
And
another
Vasquez
nice
on
right
the ropes now. Kileen trying to work on him.
Much better stuff by Adam.
Oh, lovely fighting. And Jimmy Boland nearly got run over by the backpedaling Spider Vasquez at that point. The Vasquez caught him banging the ring at this point in time. 2
nice right hands he landed there, Adam Kileen. He needs to keep the pressure on. Yep. He probably needs to... See, with a southpaw, as they jab with their right hand, it's the best move, for my way, I think, is to throw your own right hand straight down the middle and come in with the left rip or the left hook straight after it.
Yep, that'd be the go.
But
Kileen can
closer round, but I still think Vasquez probably pinched that.
Just pinched it.
Could have been an even round.
Yeah, it would have been close one way or the other. We'd put a little E there as well on the program because it could have been even.
Congratulations, Laura, on behalf of the boxing kickboxing enterprises in Australia. Welcome back from Darwin.
And it was good to see Kileen just...
We'll be talking to our two special guests. Two of our special guests. Tony Mundine Senior, Anthony Mundine Junior. All the way from Sydney Town by Peter Hunt.
Thank you, mate.
To expose
Yeah.
the man.
So, the Vasquez corner in deep thought and conversation at the moment.
Yeah, Vito certainly having a lot to say, and Vasquez just sitting there quietly listening. Puts the mouth guard in the last second before we get up, which is good corner work.
And that kept to make sure he got proper airflow into the lungs there, Barry, Vasquez.
Yeah, Adam Kileen straight on the attack. This is the sort of fight that he needs to get it up close and work the body and rough the spider up. He's not having he's not been terribly effective at a distance, Adam Kileen. He needs to stay there on top of him. But I tell you, he's very slick, this guy. He can get out of clinch as well. Moves, both ways well.
He does. Oh, he's very slippery. And that
tough fight for Adam Kileen, this one.
Kileen, a few moments ago, did land some good body shots into Vasquez, although they didn't cause him any damage.
Yeah,
and he's trying to work in close, Kileen, and Vasquez is accommodating him.
But this is Kileen's fight. This is where he needs to keep him.
Yes.
Keep him up against the ropes, and he'll be effective here.
Block him in and block his movement, and he's got some good body punching power, Adam Kileen. So there's the uppercut there, was a nice little punch there, and Vasquez boxes his way out nicely.
Yeah, Vasquez did well there.
And comes flying over the top. That the right hand again just missed, though. I think it missed altogether, that right hand. It was a very high, wide and handsome type punch. And Adam Kileen now is attempting to exert more authority. He's trying to take the fight up to Vasquez at this point, but he has to, Barry, because he could be a round or two down.
Well, it's the best way to fight a southpaw, I've always found too. Generally, most, I don't know why it is, most southpaws seem to be classy sort of boxers, and you keep the pressure on them. Kid him in the body, rough him up, which is what Kileen's doing. He's unsettling the kid, Vasquez. Yep. It's his best chance. We've only got 4 rounds though. We've only got another round to go after this, I think. So
we'll just block him up a bit and try and stop that right hand from doing any damage from the southpaw.
Yeah, well, it nullifies, which way a guy stands if you're right on top of him, shoulder to shoulder.
Yep, definitely. And now the boys are in a grappling fest, and Jim Boland moves in, has a word to Vasquez again about.
And when you're up on top of an opponent like this is where strength tells and conditioning.
Yes.
Skill quite often goes out the window because quite often the stronger man wins. Oh, geez, some nice shots there by Danny Vasquez. He looks as though he's going to get smothered, and then every now and then he comes out with a couple of blinders.
Oh, yes. Well, he had a left hand then that was tried to put Kileen's head in the roof then, just coming through hard, a driving left hand. Kileen recovered from that, and now the boys are in close again there. Kileen's trying to work away with that uppercut, the right uppercut. Vasquez attempting to accommodate
I can't understand Vasquez standing in there. He's more of a boxer type. He should be backing away, but perhaps he's getting a little tired too. Landed a nice left hand coming in there.
He did. Well, now they're hanging on there now. Well, Kileen was hanging on, and Vasquez trying to pull back, couldn't get out. Kileen's doing the best he can to try and keep him in close, isn't he, Barry?
This is more Kileen's fight. He's got a cut eye too.
Oh, he has Kileen. I think that, I didn't see a punch land. Could have been a headbutt, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'd say it was definitely a head clash. Most cuts do come from elbows or headbutts. When you're up close, that roughhouse sort of fighting. Better work by Kileen. There's not much in this round at all.
Yeah, let's hope that cut doesn't cause him too much difficulty. I think it's more to the side of the left eye. The corner will get to work. Murray Thomson jumps up on the ropes to have a look at that eye straight away. And the doctor's coming around. Dr. John Jury's going to come in and have a look at that eye too, I believe.
Yeah. I would be surprised if it was stopped with a round to go.
No, I wouldn't be very surprised. It doesn't look like it's above the eye, more to the side, so therefore not causing any sight restrictions, Barry.
Jeff Brennan from
not a lot in that round. It could have gone either way, but I'd probably still think that Vasquez might have just about pinched it, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah, it was very, very close. Yep. Very, very close, that round, I'd say. Well, it's either probably an even round or a Vasquez round, one or the other.
Well, it depends on what side of the ring you're looking to. And I mean, over that side, there was a lot of effective work done by Adam Kileen, which we probably didn't see too cleanly.
Yep, he did.
He worked a lot harder that round.
He did. First half of the fight, he was fantastic there, Adam Kileen, and tactically started to get it right, Barry.
Adam Kileen's got to have a really, really big round here for the way I'm looking at this fight. Adam Kileen's And Vasquez has got
started
away.
off hard. He started off very hard, Vasquez. He's throwing leather now,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's moving in very quickly there. All the boys are grappling there. They're head-to-head, elbows to elbows there at the moment, and Jim Boland pushed them aside. Jim Boland's going to have his work cut out this round. I believe these boys are going to hammer and tongs at each other.
Kileen, the physically stronger of the two.
Oh.
You know, when they stood there shoulder to shoulder there and Kileen pushed him back. Vasquez, you know, wants to get away and land those longer shots.
Oh, Adam Kileen now he's reaching into the courage area, and he's taken right up to Vasquez, and he said, well, it's not going to be just a push-out situation for me. I'm going to take this right up to this boy from New South Wales.
Throwing plenty of leather at Adam Kileen. He's a real goer, you know.
He's a top goer, Mr. Kileen. He's got a big heart. A very big heart, that boy, and the boys are grappling again, and Jim Boland moves in again, really pushes them, tries to split them up. And Vasquez now coming in with the gloves wrapped around his own head there, covering up.
At this stage, Kileen doing the majority of the work in the fourth and final round.
Certainly is. Vasquez put the bravado on at the start of the round, as if he was going to...
A couple of flashy shots and...
run over the top, but it looks like he may have just tired just a fraction.
Oh,
big right hand, that driving right hand.
Left hand.
Rocked him. That's a left hand, Barrier's rocked Kileen. I was looking at Kileen's jaw then and
nice
go
uppercut.
back.
Yeah, no, cleaner shots there from
Driving
Vasquez
left
again.
hand it was.
From the southpaw stance.
Yeah, gee whiz. That was, she got the impression that was a rocking type punch. Kileen didn't like it, but came back with a right hand there.
Chopping right hand. Nice right hook there from Vasquez. Vasquez landing the cleaner here. Kileen throwing the more shots, pressuring, but...
Vasquez is... he's a strong, resilient boy or whatever, and he's been in the odd scrap or two in his time. He knows how to fight, especially when it's tied in. He knows how to do it as well. You can't ride him away.
Good body work there by Kileen.
And
coming up to the last minute of this round, I would think.
Is now, there's hanging on going on here. Kileen's trying to push a left hand into the facial region of Vasquez.
All the work now from Kileen. If this was a longer fight, I think, Kileen would go better, but Vasquez has landed the cleaner shots for my money. Well, a bit more stylish. Yeah, he's got some real good moves, this kid.
Oh, and those heads are together too. I think Kileen's eye may have has it re-up, and I don't know, but the boys are swinging there, the left, right and centre. Vasquez, the boys are in so close there. They've got to watch the heads, but I suppose it doesn't matter last round.
Vasquez knows that, we're coming down close to the end of the
big
round.
left hand there from Vasquez, caught Kileen on the jaw, clean punch. And Kileen again trying to get in, trying to break the coverage. He's covering up very well, Vasquez, with the gloves around the jaw region, and Kileen trying to work away at the rib cage there, slapping punch there.
Kileen landing plenty of leather, but the cleaner shots and the harder shots, harder head shots in particular, have come from Vasquez.
Well, they certainly have, and there he reducts and weaves away. A great fight, excellent fight. Fantastic stuff. And Danny Vasquez, he's a slippery customer.
Tim Drennan from the Food Graphics.
How would you...
Sold out, okay, the autograph gloves. Dave Russell, Johnny Faversham, Tony Mandel Miller.
That was a superb bout. Probably, we've said it once before here, it's a 4-round. It would have been nice if it had gone 6 or 8, Barry, but Danny Vasquez from New South Wales, well tutored there by his trainer, and he looks as if he may have got home.
Yeah, well, the way I see it, Vasquez got home fairly comfortably. Adam Kileen, made a real fight of it. He's a real warrior, but the points for my money go to Spider Vasquez. Got some, pretty shifty southpaw, got some nice moves.
He certainly has, no doubt about that. And Adam Kileen has put up a great effort, and they found that in his second pro fight, that southpaw style to be too unorthodox for him to get home.
Well, that was a tough one.
A very tough fight
for him for his second fight.
Yeah, but look, you've got to say that you've got to give the Murray Thomson Fighters Factory courage, because they're not afraid to matchmake their boys up against the best around the countryside, which is great to see for boxing, Barry.
That's something I love about these shows with Murray Thomson and the boys and Peter Hunt. Their fights are all evenly matched. They don't pick soft touches for their boys. You look at all the fights, they're all really great fights.
No, they're fantastic fights, and they've got some good people coming up through their gymnasium in Fighters Factory Blackburn.
We're just going to cross to the centering in a second for Howard Lee Watkins' decision. Or not Howard Lee Watkins' decision, the judge's decision, but Howard Lee Watkins is going to announce the decision between Danny Vasquez from the red corner and Adam Kileen from the blue corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get the scorecards. And Judge Malcolm Mulder. Judge Malcolm Mulder couldn't separate the two fighters. He gave it 38 each of two. Judge John Wheeler gave it 37-39 for Kileen. Judge David Wignall gave it the other way, 39-37 Vasquez. A majority draw. 4 rounds, couldn't separate the two fighters.